These are my thoughts on professional dog trainers who rehome their own dog. Stick with me. Hi, I'm Adam Katz for DogTrainerToolbox.com. I run Facebook ads for professional dog training business owners. If you'd like to learn more, or if you'd like to learn more about some of the other products and services we either offer ourselves or recommend, check out DogTrainerToolbox.com. So a lot of these social media influencers in the dog training space have been creating a lot of content lately, bringing up a lot of really interesting ideas and really interesting subjects. And I thought it might be fun to dive into some of those. So this video is one of those, specifically addressing Kentucky dog trainer and social media influencer Larry Crone, who announced this week that he is considering rehoming his 8-month-old German Shepherd puppy that he got from Mohawk's Malinois because the dog is a dirty dog. Now, in this context, it means that the dog simply messes the crate and has no problem lying in his own feces or in his own urine. Typically when we crate train a dog, we use the crate because the dog wants to stay clean. That is, if the breeder himself did a good job of raising the puppy. There may be some genetic component to it, hard to say. But in any case, Larry's been struggling with this dog since, I think, the day that he got him. And I don't know, really, Larry. We've had a few conversations, and we're in the same space, obviously. But he's been having a heck of a time of it. And so I wanted to share my thoughts as to whether rehoming a dog because it messes the crate or for any other reason, as a professional dog trainer, is a good thing to do or a bad thing to do. And on this one, I'm going to come down in support of Larry, actually, because I think there's nothing wrong with rehoming a dog as long as you're doing it responsibly if the dog is not bringing you happiness. Remember, guys, this is dog training. We're supposed to be in this because it's fun. And if it's not fun, then place the dog with somebody else who will have fun with the dog. Maybe somebody else who can fix the issue, or it isn't an issue for them, or has a different setup. Maybe they have kennel runs outside or raised slat runs, and it would make the fixing the issue much easier. There's no shame in that. There is no shame in that. I've rehomed several dogs myself, and the reality is, again, guys, if you're not enjoying the puppy, if you're not enjoying your dog, find somebody who will. As a professional dog trainer, life is just too short to deal with a dog that you are just not enjoying. Now, obviously, with any dog, there's some pluses and minuses, and it's not all, it's not all fun and games all the time. But at the end of the day, you have to look at, is the juice worth the squeeze? And if it's not, then place the dog in a home and start over with another dog that's going to be easier for you in whatever lifestyle you have. So I don't really see a problem with any dog trainer rehoming a dog that doesn't fit into their lifestyle. As long as they're not dumping the dog on a country road or leaving the dog with the animal shelter or something. They're going to find somebody who loves the dog more than they do. There's nothing wrong with that. So wanted to also talk about in my own experience over the years, having dealt with the same thing, and having researched this, having talked to several breeders, it seems like what causes this behavior most frequently is when the puppies are very little, before they're adopted dogs are typically adopted at about 8 weeks of age. If the dog is allowed to sit for too long in its own feces or its own urine, or play in his own feces and urine, in the case he's in a playpen or something, he becomes acclimated or used to being in his own feces and urine. And so apparently what a lot of good breeders do is they will put raised slats, like raised redwood slats, inside the kennel runs, or have an elevated kennel run system where it uses slats, and most of the urine and most of the feces falls through the slat, so that the puppy can't obviously fall through the slats, but the waste can. And so at no point are they sitting for a long period of time, for the most part, in their own feces or urine, because it all drains through. And so that gets the dog used to being clean. Other options, obviously, are just crate training the dog and taking them out frequently and putting them in the grass, or having young puppies, pre 8-week-old puppies, in playpens during the day, movable playpens where they get used to doing it in the grass and not doing it in the crate, or not doing it on the concrete, which is where you might have your kennel runs, but rather on the grass. So it's a good question to ask when you're adopting a puppy from a breeder. What is their system for basically imprinting on the dog to make the process of house training the dog or crate training the dog much easier, so you don't have to go through everything that Larry is going through. Now, if you have an older dog, or you have the ability to take an older dog that has that issue, and you have a raised kennel run, or you're willing to work through the process, you can end up with a really great dog. But at the same time, I don't find any fault with really what Larry's doing in regard to rehoming a dog. I've rehomed several dogs for less reasons. Dogs that were just too much dog for me, dogs that were just too high drive, dogs that needed to be in a sport or working home or working agency environment, and didn't fit with wherever I was at the time. And you don't always know that when you adopt the dog. It takes some time, sometimes several months, to really figure out what's going on with the dog. A lot of times you get a dog and it seems a certain way, and you don't even begin to read the dog's personality until about 3 weeks in. And certainly for a lot of behaviors that might be deal breakers, it can be several months before you're really able to 100% evaluate the dog. And with a puppy, it is always a crapshoot, no pun intended. Hey, I'm Adam Katz for DogTrainerToolbox.com. Let me know what you think in the comments below. At my YouTube channel, Cats on Marketing, Cats on Marketing, and I think I expanded the name, Cats on Marketing and Dog Trainer Life or something like that. Or in the Dog Trainer Marketing group on Facebook, which is free to join. You'll be amongst over 5,000 other professional dog training business owners swapping secrets, strategies, tactics, and tips. Talk to you soon.